If a baby grain can fly, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on, fly on.
Is this what you want now? Feels like you're looking for something better. Is this what you want now? Or is it because you can't forget her? I can't keep pretending it's not getting to me. It's never ending. Can't give you what you need. You're misbehaving. Yeah, it's getting to me. It's never ending. You can give anything, so you can go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Yeah, so I can focus. I just need to focus on myself.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, happy Friday. Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. It is Friday, April 30th, 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. It couldn't be a better day, could it? Friday
No.
I don't know. It's just, I need them. I know we're in the
Yes.
pandemic and every day is like, my kids stay up late every night. We play Uno, we're starting to play Uno every day. Every day is like a summer day, but still Friday is still Friday. And I'm glad that it's here. Good morning to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the other places that we're streaming live. Be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Brother James, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, pretty good, brother. How about yourself?
Man, I'm good, man. I don't know. You ever have those nights where you don't know if you actually slept, but you know that you were in the bed? It's almost like that's why I'm glad it's Friday, because after I'm done with the show today and we get the podcast out, I have like 2 meetings, and then I got somewhere today I'm gonna have to get some sleep, man. I might have to call that man anyway. I gotta get some sleep in this place because man, I went to bed. I think I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night, and and I just still feel like I did not sleep any at all. But anyway, let me stop complaining because.
Right, bro. I went to sleep. Man, for some reason this felt like I couldn't sleep. So it was probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning before I actually got in the bed. And when I woke up, it was like, did I even sleep last night?
So let me definitely stop complaining, because you on the next level with that, bro.
And I'm not even tired. That's the bad part. Now, granted, sometime during the day after the show or later on, it's gonna be a nap on the clock. I don't give a damn. I hope y'all watch too. I will be asleep on the clock today. Good morning, happy Friday.
I'm gonna jump in real quick because I missed the memo, but I do appreciate y'all and y'all's Tiger Woods Sunday red this morning.
You know what, man?
I was about to say something too, because in the chat they were like, okay, red today, like, yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, me and James be coordinating, boy. We be coordinating. Right. Don't even be comparing notes. We just wake up and be the odd colors. We be like sunshine yellow and lilac blue and stuff, and we just got the same color wardrobe apparently. So
exactly, dude. I'm over here looking like a big thing of Kool-Aid with red.
Hey man, hey listen. My I used to wear sweaters every single day when I lived in Boston doing the show in Boston, because I was like at least 50 pounds heavier. So sweaters, they kind of help you finesse how you look, and you're nice and comfortable. But I had this one red cardigan sweater, and I bought it and I loved it. I looked at it, I loved it, and I put it on and bought it. And I said, man, I look like a big ass Santa Claus. Let me go put this thing down somewhere. So you got to be mindful of the colors and the combinations that you wear. You know what I mean? Listen, anybody say "Hey Kool-Aid" in the chat room, you will be blocked. That's all I got to say.
You will be blocked like a somebody else talking about we look like we work for Target. That's damn right. Could get me some shit today.
Target. Oh man, all we need are the brown khakis. But anyway, I digress. Good morning to everyone. Let's get started with some of these news. Rebecca Azor is not going to be joining us today, but we're going to hold it down for her in her absence. I want to start with the Labor Secretary, Joe Biden's Labor Secretary, putting fear in the hearts of companies like Uber and Lyft. In an interview with Reuters, Biden's newly confirmed Labor Secretary, Marty Walsh, stated that most gig workers in the United States should be classified as employees deserving of related benefits. Now, this is a radical departure from the Trump administration, as well as the Obama administration, when many of these jobs began to appear. Shares of Uber fell as much as 8%, while Lyft dived as much as 12%. DoorDash fell nearly 9%, and Grubhub was down 3.3%. Let's take a look at this clip.
Take a look at shares of Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, some other gig economy companies. President Biden's top labor official telling Reuters that most gig workers in the United States should be classified as employees deserving of related benefits. Guys, a reminder that this is still a huge issue for these platforms, and any policy shift could raise costs for the companies that depend on these independent contractors such as Uber and Lyft. There have been court battles already on this issue and some victories, but still so many unknowns. And John, both companies will report earnings next week. I do expect to hear more from them on this topic.
Now, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported in 2017 that 55 million people in the United States were gig workers, or 34% of the workforce, and was projected to rise to 43% in 2020. Those are not small percentages. That's a huge percentage of our workforce that are actually gig workers. Now, Marty Walsh is the former mayor of the city of Boston, and in his position as labor secretary, this is putting a lot of fear into the hearts and the minds of companies like Uber. And we covered this in last year on the podcast when Proposition 22 in California was on the ballot, and it subsequently passed, and it gave the companies in California the ability to not categorize their employees, their drivers, as employees. What this does, the ability for these companies to categorize their drivers as contractors versus employees, really robs so many millions of people who participate in the gig economy from a stabilized existence. They don't get benefits. They don't get, hell, they don't even get paid for the time that they're waiting for drivers or for clients to jump in their car, for riders, rather. That's the word I'm looking for. And this was the big deal. Like, a lot of people are thinking, well, why should they get paid? Uber benefits from drivers who are parked downtown waiting to pick up riders. Like, that is how these drivers subsidize Uber. And in that, just one way where Uber and Lyft, they get an advantage over their drivers, and they do not have to pay their drivers for countless hours in the day where they are standing by to pick up riders. And this is what gives Uber and Lyft all of the advantage that they have over cabs, right? And so these are things that the Department of Labor has had to step in on, because it gets labor from the people, right? Uber and Lyft, they get labor from people, but they don't have to pay them for all that labor. They don't have to give them benefits. They don't have hardly any responsibility to these people, yet they're able to make billions upon billions of dollars off of them every single quarter. And they are able to do so without any responsibility to their employees. Because if you really think about it, James, these people who drive for Uber, when you drive for Uber, you drive for Lyft and DoorDash, at this point, they are essential workers. Right? You think about, even DoorDash. I know a lot of people may not instantly think of DoorDash as an essential worker because they're delivering food. But at the same time, in this pandemic, DoorDash has been an essential workforce for so many people. You think about Instacart, right? All these companies that are able to make money off of labor, but they have no responsibility to treating them as actual employees. There's no benefits, there's no time off, there's no sick time, there's no PTO, there's nothing there except for contracted payment from these companies. And this has given these companies an obscene amount of profit, and they don't want to cut into those profits because obviously they want to keep their money. So, I mean, and then there's so many people who are having to go to the gig economy because other jobs are not there. And if we're not careful, we're going to find ourselves in an America where nobody really has, 43%, I want to go back to that data. The U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics reported in 2017 that 55 million people in the United States were gig workers. That's 34% of the workforce, and it's projected to rise to 43% of the work. We're talking about nearly half of the workforce being in the gig economy, and these companies have no responsibility to these drivers or to their gig workers. I mean, I don't know what you think about this, man, but it's like this is their way of absolutely getting over on workers yet again.
Yeah, man. They definitely need to give these people their benefits. If you really think about it, they're the main reason that a lot of people were able to get through this pandemic, delivering food, groceries, and everything else, and still ended up getting the short end of the stick. And not to mention that their safety comes into concern a lot of times when making these deliveries as well, too. They just need to pay these people. Just give these people their benefits and get them out of there. They just need to do much better with them. And I've worked with Uber before, just for like one ride, but it wasn't for me. But a shout out to everybody that does it, man. It takes a lot. And shout out to y'all. That takes a whole lot.
It does, man. Like there was a period back in, I don't know, like 2014, 2015. I lose track of time. But, you know, when people get these gigs because they have hard times. And some people see it as an opportunity to get ahead. I remember when I was signing up for Uber to drive for Uber, I signed up because the guy who dropped me off one night told me, you know, he drove like 12 hours, but he made a decent amount of money driving 12 hours. But you think about you doing that kind of work, but you get absolutely no benefits. You get no sick time. If you get sick, you just don't make any money. Right. If you have a child, forget about paternity leave. Like that's the last thing that you're going to get. You could always not work, but you won't get paid. Meanwhile, you're working for Uber while you're down at the airport. I mean, think about this. Well, not a lot of airports, at least the Boston airport didn't allow them there, which was pretty dope. But, you know, think about downtown. I'm thinking down by Back Bay, the train station at Back Bay. You know, there are always cars, Uber cars, just sitting there waiting. And whenever I needed one, boom, they were there already. That advantage that they gave Uber over the cabs, those drivers don't get paid for that time. They sit there and they give, you know, Uber and Lyft the advantage because they're already there in place, right? You don't have to call for an Uber when they're already there, but they're not getting paid to sit there, right? And so it's just another way that companies have found to exploit labor, and we see this as the case over and over and over again. And this is like, I actually want to give a little commentary on the Biden administration. Like, this is big. This is important because if the United States actually moves in this direction, then it is to the benefit of labor in a very significant way. And while there's a lot of conversations and arguments over whether or not Joe Biden is a progressive president or whether he is, worse than Donald Trump, some morons actually think that he's worse than Donald Trump. We'll get into that another day. The point is this move in particular is 100% pro-labor. It's 100%. And I hope, I want to slow down. I hope they actually do something about it. Marty Walsh, don't just talk about it. We need you to actually do something. We need policies implemented because with our workforce going close to 50% in the gig economy, we're talking about a level of exploitation that is unsustainable, and it should be unsustainable even in the minds of liberals who generally are sometimes okay with this kind of stuff. Like that Proposition 22 didn't pass in California just with conservatives. Those were a bunch of liberals who voted for it to the detriment of labor. But when we're talking about these levels of labor participation in the gig economy, that is just unsustainable. And so I hope, Marty Walsh, I hope you, we could pass the word along, and I'm sure other people are talking to you, but man, don't talk about it. We absolutely need you to be about it in that regard, because man, I just can't for the life of me imagine us getting any worse as it pertains to the labor force in this country. I mean, think about one last thing before we move to the next story. Think about the ways in which the restaurant industry has been able to get over on waiters and waitresses and reallocating the responsibility of payment to the customer, and waiters and waitresses getting like a minimum wage of $2 an hour and having to live off of tips. See, that has become the norm in this country. It's like the general expectation is that the people who are eating have the responsibility to pay for the labor of the individuals who are serving, not the restaurant. And so the restaurant owners, they get away with murder. They get away scot-free, and all they have to pay these waitresses and waiters is like $2, maybe $3, and then everything else comes from tips. Well, I'm sorry. If you can't run a business where you actually pay people, then you don't need to be in business. I mean, it should not be the responsibility of a person who's already paying for the food, already paying. Like, it's not like we go in and get food for free and all we got to do is tip. No, man, we paying $100 for a date and we tip on top of it. That's cool. But you mean to tell me you can't pay the server who has come and given you 12 hours a day? You can't pay them a living wage, and their livelihood is dependent not only on us paying for the food, but also paying for the tip. That means that these restaurant owners have zero responsibility for the livelihood of the people who are working in their companies 12 hours a day. And this is exactly the way so many corporations want their labor force in this country to exist. They want labor, but they don't want the responsibility of ever having to pay fair, livable wages. And that's got to end. That's absolutely got to end. I want to shift gears here to India. And we've been doing a lot of coverage, obviously, of COVID-19 because that is the reality that we are living in. India is averaging over 300,000 cases a day as countries like the United Kingdom and the United States have begun reopening as more of their populations have been able to get the vaccine. India has experienced the opposite over the past few months. On Thursday, India recorded 379,000 new infections and 3,645 new deaths. However, both of these figures are likely far under the true number. Hospitals are overcrowded to the point where 2 patients are sharing one bed, and countless thousands are turned away from hospitals. Supplies of oxygen have run out. Grave diggers have been working around the clock. I want us to take a listen in to this interview from Democracy Now! With journalist Rania Ayub as she describes the situation in India as apocalyptic. Take a listen in.
It is an apocalyptic situation in India right now. It's heartbreaking not just to be a citizen of this country, but it's heartbreaking to be a journalist who is bearing witness to the events that are unfolding in India, especially with the number of COVID deaths that we are witnessing, and many of them in their early 30s. The 2 friends that I lost were in their mid-30s. Their families are still in the ICU. Yesterday, 22 patients lost their lives at one go in a hospital after a tank that was providing oxygen to the ventilators leaked for 30 minutes, and all 22 patients lost their lives in a span of an hour. And it's like this country is breathless. On Twitter, in hospitals, whenever I'm going to report, everybody is begging for oxygen. As I'm talking, hospitals after hospitals in the national capital, not far from the Prime Minister's residence, are petitioning the High Court of the country to tell them that we have no oxygen left in our hospitals. State governments are accusing each other of oxygen theft, that they are stealing each other's oxygen tankers. It's that kind of a situation.
It's that kind. This is horrific. Around 129 million people in India have received at least one dose of the vaccine as of April 27th, the Indian Health Ministry reported. However, that's just over 8% of the total population. At a World Trade Organization meeting last year, India and South Africa had proposed temporarily suspending intellectual property rights in order to create domestically manufactured versions of the COVID-19 vaccines for all nations. This move, as we've covered, is opposed by the United States and its allies. Meanwhile, in the United States, the state of Florida alone has now received some 20 million vaccine doses for a population of 21 million people, which is more than the U.S. has donated to all of Africa, a continent of over 1.2 billion people. This is a part of the vaccine apartheid that we've been talking about. And this is why it is so vitally important that the United States absolutely shares the vaccine as well as the intellectual property. There's in a population the size of India, with the outbreak being as severe as it is, we can all but guarantee that there will be a variant that comes from that population that will be, that our vaccine won't be able to stop. And if that is the case, we go back to zero. See, we have this, whether or not Joe Biden and the Biden administration calls it this, we do have the same type of America first policy as it pertains to this vaccine. And that's cool. You want to be America first. Okay. But the reality of it is with this happening in India, there's a high likelihood that a variant will come and set our behinds back to zero. And we're starting over again. The whole point is that we are our brother and our sister and our non-gender conforming individual. We are their keepers. We have a global humanity responsibility to be concerned about the people who are suffering from COVID-19 outbreaks like this going on in India. And if we have the mindset that we don't have any responsibility to what's happening in India, then we're going to very quickly, in short order, discover that COVID-19 doesn't give a damn about America first. It is going to come to America next. Yes. Again, above and beyond what our vaccines are capable. I mean, if we are lucky, these vaccines will be efficacious enough to protect us from any foreseeable variant. But scientists are telling us the same thing, that there is possibly a variant of COVID-19 that these vaccines will not keep us immune from. And so we have a responsibility, and we can't just look at what's happening in India and say, oh, that's terrible, when we have the capacity to do something about it. Here in the United States, morons like Joe Rogan, extremely popular podcaster, Joe Rogan from Fear Factor, Joe Rogan from MMA, he took to his show earlier this week and started telling people who are young to not get vaccinated. Well, after being criticized widely for his comments regarding COVID-19, Joe Rogan had to walk it back because that money was on the line and Spotify got that ass, didn't they, Joe? I want us to take a listen to this first clip of Joe Rogan as he explains, talks a lot differently than he did earlier this week. Take a listen in.
This is like the thing about this whole thing, this people being upset at me. I didn't say I'm not an anti-vax person.
Right.
In fact, I said I believe they're safe, and I encourage many people to take them. My parents were vaccinated. I just said I don't think that if you're a young, healthy person that you need it. Their argument was you need it for other people.
So you don't transmit the virus.
That makes more sense.
So
but that's a different argument. That's
I'm
a different
young,
conversation.
not so healthy person.
You're not that young.
Okay, Joe. Thanks, man.
You're not.
Okay.
If you were a hot chick,
then you'd say I was young.
I'd be like, you're on the ropes.
Am I backed up a
How
little
old
bit?
Are you?
37.
Yeah, you're on the ropes, bro.
That last part, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how to respond to the last part. It was so stupid. But Joe Rogan, you actually did absolutely tell people if you're 21 and you're young, don't get the vaccination. It's stupid. Why would you put that in your body? You even had your co-host that day who said don't vaccinate. He's not going to vaccinate his children. And so I don't care how you try to say that you are not an anti-vaxxer. That entire segment that was seen by millions of people and heard by even more millions of people on your podcast, sponsored in part by Spotify to the tune of $100 million, right? That message was spread to millions of people during a global pandemic for which 600,000 people in the United States alone have died. Anyway, he continued with his guest, essentially saying that people shouldn't take what he says seriously. You think? Let's take a listen in.
All these people that are saying, and in many ways, listen, here's the thing. These are not like planned statements. Let's be real clear. Yeah. When I say something stupid, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say before I say it. I'm just saying it, right? I don't have an off-air and on-air voice. I don't. No. I have me. This is it.
James, I'm laughing because this man gets paid he's got paid $100 million for this podcast where he's now saying, I don't even think. Like,
I don't want to compare. Like slide some of that over here. Just y'all Spotify, just get rid of that and just slide like it or not in. Much better. But
bruh, like this is the second, third. Like I keep hearing this from people. I keep hearing this from particularly white people. You know, sorry, white folks, but I keep hearing this from white folks with platforms that get paid a lot of money to do similar work that we do. And they're like, oh, I'm just a jack off comedian. I'm just, don't take me seriously. Everybody knows what I'm talking about at this point, but they're like, don't take us. What do you mean don't take you seriously? You are spouting information that is detrimental to, damn it, humanity at this juncture. Right. Yep. And you're getting paid top dollar to do it, Joe Rogan. And your excuse is don't take me seriously. Well, he said it once again. Let's see this next clip.
I don't like if you say you disagree with me. I probably disagree with me too. I disagree with me all the time. If someone said you have young, healthy 21-year-old people who eat well and exercise are not at high risk for coronavirus, but you should think about other people, I would say, well, that's a different argument. And yes, that makes sense. But I would say, aren't those people vaccinated? And shouldn't we vaccinate the vulnerable people? Yeah. And then we'd have a different conversation. Right. The problem is today, everything's all headlines and highlights, and it's all clickbait, which is fine. That's the business.
And then what he's doing?
That's what he's doing. This is what the man is.
That, okay. I thought it was just me, but I digress.
I'm like, dude, you're literally playing to an audience. There is an audience of people who want that anti-vax. Because I don't know why. I mean, we have one more segment before we go to break, and I still don't understand the stupidity, man. I don't understand like why people just revel in all of this ignorance. Because it's like it's ignorance. See, it's one thing to be ignorant for shits and giggles. Okay, Kiki, this is fun. But you're ignorant to the point where you're gonna get yourself killed. I honestly don't get playing games, but if you're gonna play games, okay, don't play games with something's gonna get you killed or somebody else killed. Like I knew that there was a strain and a strand of ignorance in this country and in humanity in general. But I thought that it was performative for clicks, like he was just saying. He does that. I did not realize that these fools would be so stupid that they would actually be willing to lose their lives. Herman Cain. Like, I never knew that these clowns would be so moronic that the most important thing to them is that they never have to wear a mask when, hello, if you wear a mask, we could have been out of this pandemic a long time ago. Look at New Zealand. New Zealand is having outdoor concerts, man. They're having like concerts with festivals with like 10,000, 20, 30,000 people because they don't have COVID there. And it's because they did the right thing and they shut everything down. America's so damn stupid. And in case in point, not only do you have, my God, today, we got to take a break, man. Not only do you have morons like Joe Rogan, And occasionally he's a funny dude, and I like him occasionally. His comedy is not funny, but sometimes his podcast is funny. But you have morons like Joe Rogan, who's in one category, but in this other category, you actually have elected officials who are just as dumb, if not dumber. There's a GOP lawmaker who actually got on video and believed his stupidity so much so that he began asking whether or not there were tracking devices in the vaccine during a board of supervisors meeting to discuss quote unquote vaccine passports. Yeah, man, it's this stupid. County Supervisor Don P. Wagner asked the top health official in Orange County, California, whether vaccines have tracking devices in them. It took the health official a few seconds to process the question. Let's take a look at it.
Does it? Is there any intention of tracking folks?
Nope.
Is there any in the vaccine? We heard about an injection of a tracking device. Is that being done anywhere? In Orange County?
I'm sorry, I just have to compose myself. There is not a vaccine with a tracking device embedded in it that I know of exists in the world. Period.
Okay.
Period.
Right. So it's one thing for me to be upset at Joe Rogan. I know Joe Rogan has a lot more reach than this politician. So, yeah, we should be upset with the ignorance that comes from people with millions of followers and the ability to spread misinformation to me. But this is an elected official. Supervisor Wagner later insisted that he asked the question on behalf of his constituents who, quote, made wild charges about the vaccines. In an email to the Washington Post, Wagner said, quote, I knew they are not true, but wanted the public to hear that directly from Dr. Chow. I'm sorry, bro. The tone in his voice didn't suggest to me, James, that he thought anything other than this was true. Like, it's a short clip. Let's all listen to it one more time, Dwayne, and I want everyone to listen, and you tell me, does this elected official sound like he believes what he's asking, or is he just asking it on behalf of his constituents? Let's listen in.
Does it? Is there any intention of tracking folks?
Nope.
Is there any in the vaccine? We heard about an injection of a tracking device. Is that being done anywhere? In Orange County?
I'm sorry, I just have to compose myself. There is not a vaccine with a tracking device embedded in it that I know of exists in the world. Period.
Period.
The best part is my man that was answering the question. He had to luckily he had his mask on so he couldn't see. Like he wanted to be like, dude, are you serious?
Are you effing kidding me, bro?
I wish we could have saw his face, dude.
Right. I'm sorry. Like, if I'm asking a rhetorical question to demonstrate a point, and that question is obscenely ignorant, I'm going to make sure I say, rhetorically speaking, all right, I'm going to say, like, I don't believe this, but some of my constituents believe. No. This dude believed it. He asked the question, and when he got laughed to scorn across the country, he was, oh, no. I didn't really believe that. But this is the level of stupidity we're dealing with, James. Man, why are people so dumb, bruh?
Man. Bro, that's like really some shit out of a movie. Like, did y'all ask that question? Like, I mean, do we really think that people are putting stuff in vaccines like that, tracking devices? If that's the case, then can y'all make some shit for superhuman powers? Because I like to fly.
Come on,
shit,
man. Come on. I like something. I like to walk through walls or something.
Right,
Here's the gag. They're worried about the mark of the beast, and they're worried about, tracking. And they've got these cell phones that know more information about them than their spouses know, right? How are you afraid of being tracked when literally everything that you do is tracked on your cell phone? Every place that you go is tracked on your cell phone. You willingly and happily let Apple and Comcast and Verizon and what's the raggedy phones that are Androids? Sorry to y'all.
No disrespect to anybody in the chat. We don't want y'all to cancel this, okay? It's still on patreon.com/liking or not, all right? We understand that it's an Android phone, but just don't, okay?
No, don't cancel them. But y'all Android people are in the way. Y'all be messing up group chats. You can't send pictures and videos the right way. Them Androids, y'all need to take them Jones and just toss them in the ocean somewhere.
Dude, please, I'm telling you, bro. Listen. I'm like, why is this person replying to me individually? And we were in a group chat, and I'm like, oh, you raggedy ass phone, you. Like, get you a whole iOS split system, please.
Like, what is this green text message bubble that's coming up on my screen?
What is this? What the hell is this? Get this out of here. Yo, cheap ass phones. Anyway, I digress. The point is how y'all afraid of being tracked? When literally every single action you take, they know when I hate to be disgusting this morning, but they know when you on the John. That's the cleanest I can. They know when you on the toilet, man. Yeah. They know, they can hear literally. I want you to check I don't know if you know this, but have you ever noticed you'll be listening to music and then you go to Facebook and your music cuts off, or you go to Instagram and your music cuts, because they are listening to you. They're actively listening. And now y'all are afraid of a vaccine having a tracking device. Y'all are so dumb. I'm sorry. Like, anybody who buys into this,
so dumb.
Dumb. What's my man name? Antoine Dobson, man. You were dumb.
Yep.
You were just
so dumb. You were dumb. You were so dumb.
Hide your Androids. Hide your flip phones. Hide your Nextels. Because they tracking everybody out here.
Yeah, I hate you.
Hey, let's go to break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about. Well, yesterday we clowned Tim Scott real good about this America not being racist. I got video of Kamala and Joe trying to say the same exact damn thing, and y'all know we keep it 100 here, whether you like it or not. James, take us to break.
Facts. Good morning again, everyone. Good morning, Mama. Good morning. We start over. Good morning again, everybody. Good morning to Mama and Daddy, and good morning, Sensation, y'all. Hope y'all are enjoying, like it or not, thus far. Make sure that you stay tuned. And shout out to Jonathan Guerrero, who sent us a super chat. Says a lot of the misinformation is coming from evangelicals. My mom is an anti-vaxxer because of the preacher she listens to, SMH. That sounds about right, sir. Unfortunately. Good morning, everyone. Hope y'all are enjoying this for. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe so you know what Like It or Not is going down. And happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. 7 Sweetheart. Good morning. Justice, I appreciate you. Love you too. Dwayne, Justice hit this song for you. It's called Director. Daniel, good morning. Good morning. Sarah Gunn, I got you. What song you looking for? Brenda, good morning. Good morning, Kimberly. Shout out to Rebecca that's in the chat. Hey, Rebecca. We miss you. Y'all give Rebecca free, please. Free Rebecca. Free Rebecca.
I will do anything you want.
Sensation, I appreciate that.
Hey, Miss
Left is best. Good morning.
Anything for you. I can sing, I can dance, I can sing, I can dance.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about this. Give me 1 second.
Anything you ask me to do. Jump out on the stage, get locked up in a cage. Director. Oh, I can sing, I can dance, I can learn to sing.
Brad, 1984. Thank you so much for that. Happy Friday, Bubba. God bless you, sir. God bless you too. We appreciate you. And then real quick, this is a super chat for Tyler's 19th birthday. Happy birthday, Tyler, from the Lion's Den. Yes, Tyler Hagner, happy birthday to you, sir. Here's something real short that I only can play for a few seconds.
One time for the birthday cheat.
That's all you get, Tyler. Happy birthday to you, Tyler. Happy birthday.
You know what, though? What's funny, though? I guarantee you we get a copyright violation just for that 2 seconds.
But them damn 2 seconds, bro. You know they will.
Y'all see my ghetto green Kool-Aid cup? It's water in it, but this is one of them grandma cups that you have when you get Kool-Aid in it. So
this is the 50-cent cup from Walmart.
Hey, bro, they go to this. That thing been with me since 20 years. I think thing about some people in the chat room, bro.
Okay.
All right. Happy birthday. We said whose birthday was it? Tyler?
Tyler Hackner. Yep.
Tyler Hackner. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to everyone else who's celebrating a birthday today. We should start doing that, giving people a birthday.
You know what? I like that too.
Like a general birthday celebration to everybody who's celebrating a birthday this week or that kind of thing. All right, folks.
I can play the happy birthday song. It's copyright free since it's so old. So, like the happy birthday to you.
Bro,
that one.
I am quite sure YouTube will find a way to give us a copyright strike for that too, because they in that business apparently. But I digress. Here at Like It or Not, we tell the truth, whether you like it or not. And I know we have a lot of really good, well-meaning liberals who watch our show. And a lot of people who support Kamala Harris and Joe Biden who watch our show. But y'all, you just know there was no way we were going to be able to talk about Tim Scott saying America was not a racist nation. Especially, a matter of fact, Dwayne, the video from TikTok, where they remixed the DMX song. I want that to be a part of this one. I'll call for it at the end. But let me start here. Yesterday, we covered the ridiculous assertion by Republican Tim Scott that America was not a racist nation. There is a long list of black lives that are no longer with us today precisely because America is a racist nation. I want us to first take a look at the clip from Tim Scott to remind ourselves of how ridiculous it was when he said it. Let's take a look.
Today, kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination, and it's wrong.
So, in response to the backlash that Tim Scott rightly faced, ABC anchor George Stephanopoulos asked Vice President Kamala Harris whether or not she believed the United States was, in fact, a racist nation. Let's take a listen into this clip.
Senator Tim Scott said last night that America is not a racist country. Do you agree with that? And what do you make of his warning against fighting discrimination with more discrimination?
I believe that we need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today. And I applaud the president for always having the ability and the courage, frankly, to speak the truth about it. He spoke what we know from the intelligence community. One of the greatest threats to our national security is domestic terrorism manifested by white supremacists. And so these are issues that we must confront. And it does not help to heal our country, to unify us as a people, to ignore the realities of that. And I think the president has been outstanding and a real national leader on the issue of saying, let's confront the realities and let's deal with it, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And the idea is that we want to unify the country, but not without speaking truth and requiring accountability as appropriate.
And as we were preparing for the show this morning, Joe Biden, A2 Joe, Joe Biden joined in the chorus of politicians stating that this country was not a racist nation.
I watched the rebuttal from the junior senator of South Carolina last night, Tim Scott. He said, among other things, America isn't racist. Is it?
No, I don't think the American people are racist. But I think after 400 years, African Americans have been left in a position where they are so far behind the 8 ball in terms of education, health, in terms of opportunity. I don't think America's racist, but I think the overhang from all of the Jim Crow and before that slavery have had a cost, and we have to deal with it.
Let's talk about the pandemic.
They're just as wrong as Tim Scott. They wrapped it in a lot of nice flowery language before and after it. But it's impossible to look at this country and see what it does to black people particularly, but people of color in general, and not come to the conclusion that this entire system is racist. How can you in one sentence say that there's systemic racism, but then say this country is not racist, Joe, Kamala, President Biden, Vice President Harris? In one sentence, you will call out systemic racism, but then the next you will say that America's not a racist country. I get that they have a position that they have to protect the system itself, and how could they indict the system when they are the top executives of that system? But then don't get the benefit of being a person who calls out racism when the rubber meets the road. You're going to turn around and say this country is not racism. It just doesn't work like that. It shouldn't work like that. And anyone of good conscience and good faith, if you criticize Tim Scott, you sure as hell have to criticize Joe, Kamala, Vice President Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. You have to bring light to the fact that Tim Scott is just as wrong as the two of them are on this issue. This country, James, and you shared this clip with me. The next clip we're getting ready to play. There's a long list of people who would like to have a word with all three, Tim Scott, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden, about the racism in this country. Let's play that clip.
It was Freddie, Sam, Corey, Eric, Philando, Ahmad, Steven, Kenneth, Amadou, Jonathan, Christian, Terrace, Sean. Killed him a day before his wedding. Jamal killed him while he was in handcuffs. Mike killed him while he had his hands up. Kamani, Ramali, Phillip, Alton. About 3 Kevins, about 2 Jordans. John, Laquan, Bathon, Stephon, Tony, Tamir, Elijah, Antoine, Ezel, Terrell, Dauntre, Akai, George. For him, set the country on fire. Timothy, Patrick, Paul, Tyree, Quintonio, Darius, Jeremy, William, Anthony, Dante, Oscar, Kendrick, Keith, David, Walter. Women like Sandra, Betty, Rihanna, India, Michelle, Tatiana, Tanisha, Rika, Natasha, Pamela, Janet, Megan, baby Ayana. All that we lost.
I can't, man. I can't. Shout out to the brother who put that together.
Right.
Because that ain't even all of them.
It's exactly, dude. I was just about to say it. He still have more to go. He just, you know how long TikTok videos can be. He still is naming names.
Yeah. We would be naming, we would do an entire episode just naming names. If we name names and the cities that they're from, we're going to need 2 episodes. If we name names, the cities that they're from, and how old they were, we need 3 episodes, because that's how many people, black people, have been executed in this country by the police. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a Democrat, because folks, I know our numbers are just now starting to go back up, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but damn it, I don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or a Republican. The truth is the truth. This country was not only founded on racism, it still exists through racism. It's not just police murders, which is the culmination. It's like the worst thing that y'all could do is snatch the life out of us, but then you've been snatching the wealth out of us too, to this day. The Department of Justice report on Ferguson, the city of Ferguson, showed that the city exploited the poorest black people in that city in order to fund. They used police officers to extract wealth from all of the poor black people in that city as a way of funding the city. And that happens all across this country. And you want to tell me this country is not racist? Why do you want to say that? Because you want to make sure you don't want to offend the sensibilities of some white folks in this country? When it's convenient. When it's convenient, because every other day, all I've heard from Joe Biden is systemic racism, white supremacy. Good on you, Joe. I'm glad you're calling it out. But why? What now? Because what they've done now, James, is they've now entered into the national discourse that there is a bipartisan consensus that the United States is not racist, despite every bit of evidence to the contrary. We have bipartisan consensus that this country is not racist, despite all the campaigning. You mean to tell me the only time this country was racist was when Donald Trump was president? Is that what you're saying, Joe? You mean to tell me the only time this country was racist is when it benefits you to call it racist? But now that the pressure is on and you're in, I don't. You could have. There's any number of things that you could have done. I'm sorry. That video. Anyway.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
Chills. When I saw it last night, just chills.
Yeah.
Chills. Every time I watch it, chills.
I'm thinking about Laquan and his I don't know if that was a middle school graduation cap and gown or was it a high school graduation cap and gown, but he was 17 when he was shot 17 times by the Chicago PD. You know, I just, and it's, and again, I want to be sure police murders of black folk is like the apex of American racism right now, because it's analogous to the lynchings, right? We saw what they did with Andre, what's Andrew's last name, man? And Elizabeth said we've been covering, it's just too many names.
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown. You saw how those cops drove up to the scene yesterday and jumped out like a lynch mob. Police murders of black people is analogous. It is equal. It is the same as lynching. But that's not the only way this country is racist. You have a black sounding name, you have 50% chance less likely to get a job just because you have a black sounding name. Right? You live in a certain neighborhood, you can't get a loan. Redlining. You think redlining doesn't exist right now in its own form? Right? We get these high interest loans, right? If we get loans at all. There are just so many different structural things. You cannot say, don't ever say systemic racism again then, Joe Biden. Do not ever say systemic racism again, because what the hell is the system? What system is racist if it's not America, Joe? Oh my God, I just read in the chat room, somebody had a great point. The medical racism. Black women dying in childbirth, being ignored because the doctors have an expectation or they have it in their minds that black women are either exaggerating or they can tolerate more pain. What kind of crap is that if not racism? Name one part of this country. Now, are they trying to say that we're not as bad as we used to be? Well, maybe not for you. But for the people who've been killed by the police, I think they would say that this country is just as bad as it used to be.
Right.
So anyway, let's go to a break. Before I flip over a table in here. let's go to break.
All right, now don't break at the bin, okay?
Yeah, hey man, put on some good music, man. Let's lighten the load. We'll come back with more Like It or Not after this.
Yes, sir.
You know Lus got them hits, right?
Shout out to everybody that's checking us out. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Like It or Not Show. Like It or Not Show on Instagram and Facebook, y'all. Let's go.
I'm flying away in spiral. You would have thought it's a typo. Taking a gamble, I know. I'm flying away in spiral. They heard of me in no bio. I'm fire for real, that spiral. Look at you wins.
And while we're on this break, let's go ahead and read our new list of patrons.
Look at the time we on. Too better we're having a pit. I did not have.
All right, our new patrons this morning, y'all. We have Moon Meat. I hate y'all. Moon Meat. We have Priscilla with a Z. We have Brian H. We have the Cerberus 14 who subscribed with Prime. We have Truett J who also subscribed with Prime. We have Daleks who subscribed for 3 months. Shout out to you, Daleks. Mimosa_Dragon subscribed for 3 months. The One Wing Dragon subscribed for 6 months in advance. Thank you. Love you, appreciate you. We have the Chicken Fried Dragon who also subscribed for 6 months in advance. So shout out to you, Chicken Fried Dragon. And the Chicken Fried Dragon also gifted 3 subscriptions. Y'all welcome to the Pride family, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And if you too want to become a patron, you can as well too. Go to patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot. You get exclusive content. You get access to the after party. You get access to the patron parties where I DJ and play non-copyright music. It's a fun time. Make sure you join today. Go today. Love y'all being it. Appreciate you. Cindy D, I appreciate you. Since it's Friday, gonna drop a couple of classics on you. Classics being 3 months old songs, yeah.
I'ma do it my way. I got this way.
Alicia, good morning. Courtney, good morning. Anna, shout out to Nat A and Nat M in the building. I see y'all. Good morning.
Fresh always. We just try to steal my shit, no way. Down the void, cause I'm here to say, ain't no one mess with me on bench. They ain't getting paid. I got that sweat, I got the bills, I got the thoughts online.
Shout out Chuck Diesel. Can't forget the moderator, y'all. Chuck Diesel. Chuck Diesel, shout out to the brother. It's Truth the Dragon. You see these shoulders, girl. Y'all, welcome back to the screen. I'm gonna keep shimmying while the shoulders going. Welcome back to the screen, Ben Dixon, y'all.
You shimmy, dog. You gotta shimmy in the shoulders. Shimmy, yeah, I see you, man. I see you.
All right.
Oh man, bro. Anyway, I'm not even going back. You know, sometimes we come back from these breaks and we go right back into the same. I ain't even talking about that. I will talk about the FBA banning menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars because I'm like, huh?
What?
Yeah, what man. Not? Yeah, we were going to cover this in the after party.
Canada.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand, but the FDA announced Thursday that it will begin the process of banning menthol tobacco cigarettes, as well as flavored cigars, a move heralded as one expected to improve the health of groups most likely to smoke menthol products, including children of Black Americans. Advocates of the ban say that's not necessarily a bad thing because it provides time for more smoking cessation programs to develop plans targeting menthol smokers. There's a lot of backlash about this because James, you know, Black folks, we love our menthols, man. Like, man, I don't love smoke.
Our Newports. It's gonna put it out there. You ain't gonna take my Newports away.
And look, bro, the only cigarettes I mess with, if and when I happen to smoke, is a Newport, bro. That's
it's a Newport.
And another thing with weed becoming legal all over the place now. You know, people want them grape swishes and them grape Dutches and all that. People gonna have it, boy.
Bro,
and then my black and mild wine, you know, that's all I smoke.
Bro, they getting rid of all the good stuff. And, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna be, you know, I ain't gonna be upset about it because, like, the flavored stuff. Listen, the best cigarette I ever had was from Korea. Shout out to one of my producers who brought these. They had these little flavor packets in them, and you would crash the little flavor gel and you smoke it, and they had all kind of flavors from like peach to bubble gum. And I said, wait a minute, now this next level smokes. I get it. I get why they want to ban them because, you know, you get young kids. You know, a cigarette without some flavor is just like, why am I even doing this to myself? You put a little flavor in it, and you get all these kids. So I get it, but y'all gonna start with Newports. Y'all coming for our heads, man. You can't. It's like they targeting the black. You're gonna say America not racist, and then you gonna ban Newports.
but it's crazy though. I mean, they've already taken steps in this direction for years by overtaxing the menthols. Like if you go to places like New York, Chicago, you paying $15, $16 for a pack of cigarettes.
What they do with that?
In Chicago, I was in Chicago a couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. $15 for a pack of Newports. When you could get the non-menthol, the white people cigarettes, as you would say, for $6, $7. It's like
the Marlboros.
Yeah. Hey, bro, like, I was at the club one time, and I was at the vending machine club. You get them things were $8. I paid it. I paid it that time, but I was mad. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna pay $15 for no Newport, man. So, but yeah, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place on this particular story because I think I mean, tobacco is the devil, bro. Like the stuff it has done to society, humanity, it is horrible. Same time, man. You want y'all go after like what's the American Eagle? What's the stuff what's some cigarettes?
I just said American Spirits.
American Spirits. Go after that first. They ain't gonna start in the number, because I don't know any other cigarettes that black folks smoked in Newports, to be quite honest with you. That's
the menthol cools is okay.
Yeah.
You didn't hear that from me. I don't smoke. My lips black from playing this instrument. Hey, that's legit what I told my mama. My mama rolled up at Cookman and she's like, Bubba, you been smoking? I'm like, Mama, no, this just from playing this instrument all day long. I've been playing it for so long.
Bro, like, yeah. Well, anyway, so the rest of this conversation we're gonna have to have in the after party, because I don't need everything over the airwaves. But yeah, no, right. Definitely, like, that is a telltale sign that we have been, or they have been smoking is the what it does to your lips. But I digress. I don't know what do y'all think though? Y'all think, and Dwayne, I see you in here too, man. What you think about the ban? You think it's a good move, or you think it's like, what you think?
I mean, I definitely think it's good. You know, people shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. Like, I smoked cigarettes for 15 years. But
wow,
yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's good. But
yeah,
the targeting, it's like you don't want to be targeted, but in the same sense, I can kind of see, okay, maybe y'all are on to something a little bit. You trying to look out for people, maybe.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, if those and James, I want what you think about it in general, but I'm telling you, if those cigarettes that my producer brought back to me from Korea were here in the United States, man, you'd have little 8-year-olds out here smoking them things. They taste so good. So I totally get the idea that they have to ban these flavors, because they are, you know what I mean? They are certainly a gateway to getting people hooked on them. What you think, James?
Yeah, and I agree. You know, I'm cool with the ban, but starting off with menthols, like Dwayne said, it's just like a direct target. Why you couldn't start off with these non-flavor, hard ass smoking cigarettes like Marlboro and the other
Marlboro?
ones.
That's it. You know what I mean?
You just had to go straight for the menthol. That means Newports right off top. Right. That's all I think about. Now, granted, like I said, I think it's a good idea because there's a lot of kids out here, but most of these are white kids. I digress.
I'm just saying. I feel like it's the same thing with vaping, and you think about all the different flavors and the can't. Man, let me tell you stuff. The stuff. If I put it like this though, James, if Black and Mild tasted as good as it smells, that would be an even harder problem for me in particular, because it smelled from a distance. A Black and Mild smell like my God. When you start smoking it, it's like it's cool, it's good. You got the little flavor in it and whatnot. But these cigarettes, man, the cigarettes with the flavors in them, I'm telling you, those things are dangerous, because they cover up all the nastiness that you're really smoking. So, but I get it.
So also too, one thing to think about is like, if you're gonna ban them, they done got people hooked over all these years already on the menthol cigarettes. Now you're gonna ban them. People still gonna find a way to get them on some underground type stuff. But now what's gonna be the penalty for menthol cigarettes? So you could say it's targeting in a good sense and health sense, but at the same time, it's like, no, we just making another law that y'all gonna end up breaking. You know what I mean? So we can find another way to punish y'all for something that we got y'all hooked onto over all these years.
That's right.
And that's what it is, y'all. That's exactly what it is. As more states start legalizing marijuana, okay, let's find other ways. Take away their cigarettes. They're gonna find other ways. That's exactly what it is.
They're gonna find other ways. And I'm gonna tell you something now. And truth be told, like I whatever. I smoke occasionally, right? When you smoke weed next to smoking a cigarette, there's no way in hell any cigarette should be legal and marijuana's not. It just shouldn't, because the stuff, like just a couple pulls of a cigarette, what it does to you, what we feel it doing, in addition to what it is doing to our lungs, and we don't even see it, we don't necessarily feel it, but what it's doing, it is not even comparable to marijuana. But yet and still, we've gone through all of these generations of people being locked up because they either smoke or sell marijuana. They got caught with a little bit of nickel bag. I think one guy did like 10 years. I know one guy who did 10 years because he had a dime bag, man. right? I mean, he had some other charges, but still, this point is like he had dime bag, and compared to what is being sold behind the counters at gas stations, like it's nothing but pure poison. And I think part of this is a transition. They're transitioning the economy slowly but surely away from tobacco. But what they're doing is they're giving all these tobacco companies time to corner the markets, right? They're giving the corner the weed markets. They're giving these tobacco companies enough time to get enough growing, enough farms, enough packaging and distribution, enough. I mean, they are giving them the advantage. And so what we're going to see is, I guarantee you, the companies that are going to be put out of business because they can't sell menthol flavored cigarettes, they're going to just move right into the weed industry, leaving out young black entrepreneurs who pioneered this entire industry and spent time in jail because of it. So I think that's what's going on. What y'all think?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. And then you got somebody else. I just saw another comment in the comment section saying Eric Gardner died selling Lucy's, Newport Lucy's. Like, and America's not racist. But anyway, I digress.
I hate Dwayne. Wait. I hate Dwayne, bro.
What did he say? I missed it.
About after what is it? Where is it? After 14 years of smoking, it gave me this. All these years of smoking gave me my nice sultry voice.
Hey man, bro, I'm telling you. So I mean, obviously we're feeling some ambiguity with this decision. Like I think it's the right decision. But holy damn, can't y'all start with the American Spirit flavor first? Cause that shit nasty.
Like, man, you know, just don't make sure y'all don't touch White Owls, hemp wraps, Swishers.
Well, no, they going for all flavor cigars. They going for the Swisher Sweets, the bourbon flavored, you know.
Yeah, those bad for you
the
too.
Honey.
You got to get the nice raw papers. The raw papers and the raw combs. Yeah.
Yes.
Set.
Yeah. Those. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But a properly rolled. Anyway, let's go to the after party. We're gonna compare.
Let's go to the after party.
If you wanna get access to the after party, go to patreon.com/like it or not, or you could become a supporter on Twitch using your Amazon Prime membership. Go to the twitch.tv/Benjamin P. Dixon or something like that and donate your Amazon Prime. It's free for you. You don't pay anything. It takes $5 from Jeff Bezos and it gives it to us as we support and continue to build this show. Or go to patreon.com/like it or not. The link is already up. If you're a Twitch subscriber, make sure you click on that link. Come to the after party. If you are a patron subscriber, go to Patreon and click on the link, and we're going to go over to the after party. James, it's in your hands. Rebecca will be back on Monday. Everybody else, Dwayne, thanks for jumping in there, and we'll see y'all at the after party.
Yes, sir. Love y'all.
But she look good. You ain't gotta stand in the mirror with your makeup on, cause you know that take way too long. I just want that right now, girl, you Uber outside, I can't wait.
Afraid not. You're welcome, y'all. We are gonna switch over to the after party. Thank you so much again for joining and watching us today. And if you want access to the Patron party, the after party, patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not, y'all. We'll see y'all in the after party.
You know what I like, don't it get freaky in the night. When she hit the room, you know it's on sight. And she all on my type, and you know I don't like to wait, no. But she look good. You ain't gotta stand in the mirror with your makeup on, cause you know it take way too long. I just want that right now, girl, you Uber outside, I can't wait just to get this on. You want it right now, want it right now, don't take too long. You want it right now.
Purple Rain Hearts, I'm not sure myself. I gotta find out. This is one of my older tracks that I first had. So I'll find out, I'll let you know.
He don't need to be around when I'm taking you down. Damn, that drink too strong. We can roll up. Now baby, just hold up. Say you got a friend, bring it in. We can do what you wanna. I know you need it. Not to sound conceited, but girl, I complete you. I don't wanna
That's funny.
But she look good. You ain't gotta stand in the mirror with your makeup on, cause you know that takes way too long.